Napier is a coastal city in New Zealand's Hawke's Bay region. The city is famous for many things, including its sunny climate, myriad of Art Deco buildings, and the two Countdown supermarkets that happen to be right next to each other. In March 2025, I went back to Napier for the first time in over 2 years, with the main purpose of the trip being to film some KiwiRail freight trains in the city. Unfortunately, the railway line from Palmerston North to the Hawke's Bay region has been freight only since 2001, when the Bay Express passenger train was discontinued. In addition to the twice-daily services to and from Palmerston North, KiwiRail also runs a twice-daily mainline shunt from Napier to Hastings and back. The shunt is often hauled by one of the DSG-class diesel shunters, built by Toshiba of Japan in the early 1980s. Between 2019 and 2023, there was a short-lived revival of train services between Napier and Wairoa, albeit solely for log traffic. Logs have recently reappeared on trains to Napier, but instead of Wairoa, they're now brought in from Tangiwai via Palmerston North. In February 2023, the line north of Woodville was severely damaged by Cyclone Gabriel, but has since been rebuilt and reopened as far as Napier. While the current rail scene in the city is now just a shadow of its former self, it is better than no trains at all. We went down to Napier via Rotorua and came across the bizarre sight of D2462 at the Fire and Emergency National Training Centre. For context, D2462 is an old English Electric EMU coach from the Wellington suburban network. The English Electric units first appeared in 1938, but by 2012, the final year of service for this class, all the remaining operational units were from batches built between 1946 and 1954. The surviving DM motor coaches and D trailer coaches were either sold into preservation, or, in the case of D2462, an unusual alternative use. To be clear, I did not trespass. There is a public road running past the training centre, and I got these shots through gaps in the fence. If my research is correct, trailer car D2462 once ran with motor car DM527. A few hours after arriving in Napier, we went trackside to catch DL9227 bringing in train 624. We caught the log train in Awatoto and Ahuriri, the latter being a suburb of Napier. This was also the first test of my new tripod. DL 9227 dropped off her wagons in the main Ahuriri yard, then continued on to the port to collect some wagons for her run back to Palmerston North. Later that night, after getting some dinner from the older of the two countdowns, we managed to see DL 9227 one more time, as opposed to seeing DL 9227 face to face. This time, we caught her leaving with train 627 to Palmerston North. Next morning, after having some pretty decent scrambled eggs and bacon from one of Ahuriri's many cafes, and pottering about the area for a while, we saw DSG 3074 come back from Hastings with the U4B shunt. The suburb of Ahuriri is served by Go Bay bus route number 15, but the 15 only runs hourly and it takes a very confusing route, initially going out to West Shore before coming back to central Napier via Ahuriri, and weaving through several different streets in the process. It took me a fair while to understand the 15's layout, but I think I got there in the end. After getting lunch in the city centre, I went out to the crossing on Raffles Street to watch DL 9089 bringing in train 620 from Palmerston North. Less than 90 minutes after arriving in Napier, DL 9089 went back out again, this time hauling train 623 to Palmerston North. Wednesday the 5th of March was the last day of this trip, but before returning home, I was able to catch DSG 3074 leaving Ahuriri with the U4A shunt to Hastings.